whoever owns this has to do it.
Yes, I'm doing it. So it says,
oh, she's doing it.
Meeting for Facebook Live.
Okay, meeting is now streaming live on Facebook. On your page, Letitia, or on the campaign page?
On your campaign page.
Awesome. Hey, everybody.
Good.
Hey, are we okay? Are we live? Please say yes.
Okay, we're good. So I guess my first question, first of all, thank you so much for allowing us to have this. This is like our unofficial show, Behind and Beyond the Walls, our prison talk about prison reform. I'm one of the hosts. I'm the host of Romero Russell, and my co-host, my lovely co-host, Leticia. She's here. I'll have her introduce herself briefly. Go ahead.
Oh, hi, I'm Letitia. Nice to see you.
Thank you so much.
So
that was a very informative town hall meeting. So I guess my first question would be that you spoke about second chances. Second chances are very important. But it seems like the judicial system isn't really set up for the ideology of redemption, because how do we really quantify what a second chance is? Because they say statistically it takes 21 times to create a habit. So how do we know when a person is like on their, okay, you know what? They've made a mistake 20 times. Now their second chance kicks in. So how do we really know when a second chance kicks in? How do we know?
Well, see, I mean, here's the thing. We're human beings, right? We're fallible. And I think that's the myth, and that really cuts to the core of the difference between my philosophy and my colleagues that we were just talking about. So what I was referencing when I was talking about moral high horses and casting stones is that really, as long as it's not putting people in danger, as long as it is not dangerous to the community, we should keep giving people chances. People continue to make mistakes and continue to do better. That's what being human's about. Being human is about growing and developing. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. One real important one that was like thrown around 1,000 times tonight, about 20 years ago. But that's not the only mistake I've ever made. I'm sure you've made mistakes in your life too.
Oh, absolutely.
That doesn't mean I'm never going to make a mistake again. What it means is that once I've made a mistake, it's incumbent on me to accept responsibility for it, to pay the consequences for it, to make amends to anyone that I've harmed along the way. Right now, we don't have a justice system that is set up to allow people to do that. And we don't have a culture, a society that welcomes people back and gives them another chance. And the real problem with that, I suppose you can operate that way if you want. I really hope Mr. McWhorter's sons don't someday get badgered like I just was by somebody as they try to drag this stuff out. But if you want to be that way, you can be that way yourself. That's fine. But when we do that mechanically as a society, when we prevent people from getting jobs, from rejoining the workforce, when we incapacitate them and we take away their civil rights so they can't vote, we are otherizing people, we are stigmatizing them, we are removing them from society, and we are setting them up to fail. And that makes all of us less safe. If crime arises from desperation, why are we making people more desperate once they're done serving their sentence?
Exactly.
Well, Will, in a way, your experiences have led you to be a success story in our justice system, as you mentioned. So do you think that your past mistakes, the mistakes that you're referring to, do you think that makes you more relatable to the people?
I do. And, that's been the journey that I've been on. And let me tell you, it's not easy. Like, even now, it's not easy to stand up there and have somebody try to shame you in public. But that's the journey that I've been on, is that it's time now for us to stop letting them do that to us, for us to change the culture, for us to show the rest of our community that this is counterproductive, it's harmful, we're cutting off our nose to spite our face. It takes brave people to stand up and say, you can't shame me for that. People who were formerly incarcerated, who are fighting in this space right now, some of whom right here, right? And look, that happened. That was the worst. But that doesn't define me. What defines me is the work I'm doing now, the stuff I'm helping with now. I know your circumstances are different than most, but I'm just using it as an example.
No, I like it.
It was a whole different ball game with Miro. But that's the point and it's not easy. So I hope at a minimum that more folks who hear what I'm talking about here, if they've got something that they're letting hold them back internally themselves, spiritually, psychologically, they think they can't succeed or they can't help because of something. Just, you can. That doesn't define you. You are more than your worst mistakes. You are more than your past, and everybody can do better. And it's incumbent on us to start treating people like that and giving them the chance to try.
Yes, sir. I admire you for standing up for yourself in there. You're right. We need to change the culture because, and I know I keep referencing the former San Antonio district attorney, how they tried to use him. And he was like, yeah, I did that. And he won based on him being transparent and an open book. Because I feel he felt if you just expose it, they have nothing against you because they think they have won or they think they have gotten by with a squeaky clean platform. And they find one little blemish, they think, oh, see, you got a spot in your eye. But the moment we go, yeah, I do, I've got that. Then they're like, man, I can't penetrate that. So I admire you for standing up for yourself. You very proud, very proud.
Thanks. It's important. You know, can we talk, like, I was like staggered when I heard the same stuff last week at the ACLU.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even register with me. There's no way that I'm being accused of not being transparent about this.
Yeah.
I have told so many people, and I, like I said, like, we wrote op-eds about it. I've talked to the press. I've talked to LDs. I put it on the internet myself. So it's just it's insane how someone's going to come back at you like that and accuse you then because they've got nothing left of a lack of transparency. What I want to just, like, what really bothered me about that more than anything is that it did dominate the conversation. Mr. McWhirter is very good at doing that because what he started with was also accusing me of never disclosing it to the bar, which, for Christ's sake, of course I did. I had to get my license. I had to fly to Kennesaw for that. But those are really irresponsible things to be accusing people of without it. And that's a huge red flag to me for a county attorney, to have the power to accuse people of crimes, to not do your homework before you go out there and make flippant accusations. That's tough on crime. That's us versus them. That's moral high horse stone casting. And that's what we're running to change.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes,
do you think this will affect the remainder of your campaign?
In a positive way, I think. I think Mr.
I think so too.
That he's not with the program. And I meant it. Like, we've got I've got Republican allies. I've got Republican supporters. I've got folks across the aisle. We've got libertarians and independents. This isn't a message. And whatever Ms. Gunnagle was saying about this contributing to other offenses, that's not it either. I mean, what we're talking about here is broad appeal across the aisle. It's that we should treat public health problems like public health issues. We should treat criminal problems like criminal issues. And we should do that with courage, humility, and kindness to everybody that you represent as a prosecutor, the entire community.
Yes, yes, sir. My last question will be like marijuana concerns. So if they pass these laws to legalize the medicinal purpose of marijuana, what are we going to do about the incarcerated inmates now who had a lowercase marijuana?
That's a really good question. And that's one of the things that really bothers me about the current initiative. You know, the initiative's not perfect, and one of the big problems is that it does do a little bit to try to expunge records and redress some of these historic injustices. But one, the way it's written, it's going to be hard. The court records don't always establish those amounts within the way it was written, so it's going to be a whole lot of administrative work just to help the people that it reaches. But there's going to be a whole other segment of the community that it doesn't reach. So, I mean, the reality is there's still going to be people who have to deal with those convictions, who have to deal with those sentences, because this initiative isn't going to cover them. And that is incredibly unjust, incredibly unfair. Fortunately, so the downside with initiatives is when you have a voter initiative, the legislature can't go in and unwind it with a law, right?
Yeah.
But the legislature can always do more. So
they could.
That's a problem with the initiative. It annoys me that it didn't go far enough there. The legislature can always step in and say, you know what, we're going to expunge all records. We're gonna stop. We're going to exonerate people who are in prison right now, serving marijuana-related sentences. They can always do more, and I'm confident that the legislature next year will be well comprised and interested in having that discussion.
Good. Okay, let's say hypothetically they don't. So when you look at the license of the dispensaries versus the minorities who own those businesses, it's completely opposite on the spectrum, because if we look at just Colorado statistics, there's over 900 businesses in Colorado and only one is owned by an African American person. How are those licenses going to be evenly distributed amongst the people in Arizona once it gets legalized? Because it's going to pass. I really feel it's going to pass.
They're not going to be evenly distributed. That's another big problem with the initiative. I mean, to be honest, like if it weren't so incredibly necessary to remove this from the criminal purview, to mitigate the massive disproportionate impact the Black and Latinx and Indigenous community are experiencing because of marijuana, if that weren't so effing important, I probably wouldn't be on board with this initiative. I would probably be like, guys, let's pump the brakes. We need to have more equity. We need to have more access for the communities that have historically been most disenfranchised by marijuana laws.
Absolutely.
It does some nominal work to try to do equity credits for other people, but in reality, it was written by the people who already have financial interests, and they're the ones who are going to benefit the most. That's going to be hard to unwind.
Yes, sir.
At the end of the day, I'd rather be decriminalized and poor than
yes, sir.
have the fight on financial equity and equal income and things like that.
Absolutely. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. I know she's got a final question, but I want to just say thank you.
Do you have any Facebook Live questions? I missed a couple of those last time.
Oh, there you go.
What questions?
Last time we did this, we got some questions on Facebook Live. I just wanted to, like, while we're still here, let me answer your question, but I want to look and see if we got anything coming in.
Well, it's sort of relevant. I mean, I know that when you're talking, some people are messaging me and they're wondering, so are you going to be hosting frequent town halls? Like, how do people reach you? Or if they have further questions, what do? Do they just comment on your Facebook?
So, shoot us an email, campaign@night2020.com. It goes to me, it goes to my campaign manager, it goes to other staff. My campaign manager is a brilliant lawyer named Natalie Siegel. I know you know her. It's Natalie@night2020.com, Natalee. She's fantastic defense lawyer, incredibly motivated, and on this team in a big way to help bring justice reform to the Valley. She helps me set up a lot of these meetings. We've been doing a lot of listening tours, a lot of Zoom meetings and things that are private with different cohorts and different groups. I'm willing to meet with anyone. I'm willing to talk to anybody because this impacts all of us. So reach out to us if you want to meet with me and do a town hall. Sure. If we want to do a public one, that's fine too. Or a private one, I'm happy to do it. Yeah.
We always love a candidate who is very accessible and transparent, and we appreciate that. And I think the only question that was texted to me that we haven't really touched upon is Sean Aiken. Well, who is that, and what is the deal with him?
So Sean Aiken was my first employer. He's one of my dearest mentors. He chaired my campaign out of the gate. I just had a nice call with him this morning, actually. I remember I told a lot of different longtime mentors about doing this, people who jumped up and said, we want to endorse, we want to support. But after serious conversations, they wanted to say, Will, are you sure you know what you're getting into? Why are you doing this? We had those conversations, and then they were like, all right, let's do it. Sean and I had a 20-second conversation. I said, Sean, I'm thinking about doing this. And he said, Will, I'm in. And he chaired my campaign out of the gate. He's probably the top ADR or one of the top ADR professionals in the state, alternative dispute resolution. Incredible human being. I'm grateful to have his support. He's now co-chairing with Margarita Silva because we needed to put more women at the top of my campaign to make sure we didn't lose sight of issues that we tend not to see easily as cisgendered heterosexual men. So I'm grateful to have Margarita on the team at the top also, but that's Sean. And I think Sean would agree with me on the thrust of everything we discussed tonight.
Well, great. Well, I don't have anything further. I know this is a holiday, sort of Well, right. I mean,
oh yeah, happy Cinco de Mayo. This is
there you go.
Well, the Taco,
and Taco
Tuesday part.
Ramiro
and I had a discussion about whether Taco Tuesday itself is an appropriate holiday, but whether or not we want you to enjoy your night.
The purpose of the holidays changed over the years, you know, but since about the 1930s, my recollection is that the purpose of this holiday has become about celebrating Mexican American culture and promoting Mexican American advancement and Latino advancement in general. So it is important. I don't want to tokenize or make, you know, light of the holiday. It's not usually the biggest holiday in Mexico either, because it really was just about a small battle. It wasn't independence like a lot of people tend to say, but you know what it is about? It's about celebrating Latino culture, particularly American culture, and it's about celebrating our struggles and our struggle to advance. So I want to point out, Maricopa County has been in existence since 1871, about 9 years after the Battle of Puebla, which is what Cinco de Mayo celebrates. In our 150-year history, we have never once had a Latino county attorney. Yeah, we have a really ugly history of disenfranchisement, of literacy tests, which, by the way, were prosecutable as felonies if you failed them. So if you were a Spanish-speaking Maricopa resident until 1971, you took your freedom into your hands just to try to vote. So I'm grateful to have Adrian Fontes. He was the first Latino countywide elected official in Maricopa history. And I can't wait to be the first Latino county attorney next year.
Yeah, can't wait for that. You said 1971? 1971?
1971, since Maricopa was founded, we've never had a Black or a Latino at the head of this office.
Wow. Wow. And
well, it's time for more diversity. For sure.
Time for more diversity. He said it's time for more diversity.
Oh, 100% agree. That's the key platform. Get the community in here and let's hire some more Black and brown people. Let's hire some more LGBTQ.
There you go.
Some women.
Let's do it.
Them in charge.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Will Knight. I hope you guys have a great night. I'm off to drinking margaritas, so I will see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a good evening.
We'll do it again.
See you soon.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.